Hi, and welcome to an impromptu channel update. I currently have a copyright strike on my channel, which I think is unfair. And to that end, I will not be adding any new content to my channel until this matter is resolved satisfactorily. I find it absolutely silly that this has got to this point, and this is the only recourse I've done. I've tried appealing the decision twice now, which has been failed. So I'm going to be putting in another one, which will have this video. So right now you're seeing my channel dashboard. Yeah, it's not that impressive. It's more like the point of the thing that is the point at the moment. So, channel violations. When you receive a strike, it can be one of two types. So, gonna step on the second one first, which is a community guideline strike. So issued when we remove content because it violates YouTube's community guidelines. This includes and not limited to instances of nudity, sexual content, graphic content, violence, harmful, which this video does not fulfill in any type, shape, way, or form. For this reason, the only reason I can assume I've got a copyright strike is copy strikes are issued when we remove content because copyright owner sent us complete and valid request asking us to do so. So, what's the files that are causing this? I'm expecting you to think it's a Let's Play or something, but no, they are two benchmarks. Okay, so here they are. I have one that was done on the superposition benchmark, and so is the second one. And this was done on my AMD 6600 XT, I think. And this one was done on my new GPU, which is a GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. Now, you'll notice that here, content used, Puba Sin Makuba Deni Threadripper 2990 WX de 32 Natura on Vivo. So I had to put this into Google Translate, which gives me unmade video of my 32 core Threadripper. And that is all the information I've got in regards to what the actual copyright strike is. Apparently, this person thinks that my video is of their processor. Now, the way that I do my videos is fairly straightforward. I will do a batch, so I still have access to, and I would be happy to upload it if YouTube want me to, the raw footage of me recording these benchmarks, and it would have all the different settings that I tried in the one video file. So it would just be my desktop, then the benchmark, then the desktop benchmark, and so forth. I could also live stream me doing this benchmark to prove it, but the numbers would be different, and I'll explain that in a little bit. With these videos, benchmarks are fascinating. I use them as a resource, and other people do. Like, if they're thinking about doing an upgrade to their PC, they can download a benchmark, run it on their system, and get a numerical value to judge their own PC. These videos are of my PC being tested on settings at that point in time. These marks I get will kind of be unique to my PC, not only due to hardware configuration, but also because of software. Because you could build a similar rig using the exact same parts here, but depending on what software you put on it, the benchmark will deviate a bit. It's only if you recreate the Windows environment that I actually use you've got a high chance of replicating the exact scores that I get in these videos, which is a real pain in the arse because it makes this entire problematic. But with all that said, if I was to run the benchmark now, I should get within an error margin of about a couple of % the same value. But that is more down to more up-to-date mother drivers, more up-to-date graphics card drivers than anything that I've done on a hardware level. It could be down to Windows updates that have improved performance behind the scenes. It could be that I'm running a simpler recording setup now than I did previously. There's a whole host of reasons why you could have this small deviance, but it still makes the numbers unique. Now, in this case, they are saying that it's their 32-core Threadripper, and it's made up. Now, like I say, I do my benchmarks in batches. So with that in mind, I will take the next video and show you the beginning of this video. And as you can see, it clearly states the processor that I'm running and the graphics card that I am running. And then you'll have the benchmark, which I'm going to skip through. And then when it gets to the end, just as it fades out to black, you'll see a number at the top right corner. And then when you exit the program, it'll display the results like this, at which point it displays that number again and it lists the hardware attached to it. So this idea that it's a made-up representation of a Threadripper is untrue, because it is benchmarking an AMD Ryzen 7. The entire foundation for these strikes is completely invalid. And the part that worries me is, well, there's a couple of little things that worry me about this entire situation. First and foremost, using this exact same excuse, this person could take down my entire channel, which I find absolutely ludicrous. The other way to look at it is they are now in the process of establishing the fact that this benchmark is owned by them when it isn't. The benchmark is a public domain piece of software. This software is made by Uengine. I'm sure I've mispronounced that, and I do apologize for when they actually watch this video. But they are a fantastic group of people who have been developing a game engine and also synthetic benchmarks for people to run at home. With this in mind, it means that if this strike holds, it's claimed ownership of this benchmark, which means this person could technically take down videos by the actual publisher, because there'd be a precedent, which there shouldn't be, because he doesn't actually own anything in the videos that I've got. I will say, on minor quibble, the benchmark could be, I would consider, taking it down if the actual people that made the software asked me to. But again, it's a public domain piece of software. They've put it out there not only to promote their own game engine, but also to demonstrate their technologies that they are putting into the game engine and getting people to use the software as widely as possible to get their name out there, which is all a positive. This is a negative, and it is very, very annoying. These videos in question, I figure, are protected under fair use because they are informative videos. They are to help people be able to judge a computer setup or graphics card purchase before they purchase it by using and downloading the software and making comparisons between how their system currently is in regards to the graphics card that they're thinking of getting. So someone will most likely watch my video if they're thinking of changing graphics card to a graphics card that I've owned. On my channel, wrong thing, I have around 200 benchmarks of various benchmarks that are available. A lot of them are of games, but there are also just as many where it is an individual studio that has gone out to make their own synthetic benchmarking software. Like, this is the little cluster that we're talking about here, whilst I've also got 3D Mark. Then we go back to, it was a AMD 6600, and there we are. That's the other bit that I find baffling, is on the same rationale, this person should have been able to take down the other videos around that set time. If they are claiming ownership of that, then they should have taken down the other videos, but they've only picked on 2. The only rational idea I've got is the fact that they think that my PC out-benchmarked their PC, and so because they've got a Threadripper, that can't be right, so it's got to be a fake video. And it's not. This is how I do it. I have been building PCs for over 25 years, and I have a knack with this sort of stuff. This channel to me is a hobby. I don't mind waving it goodbye because some idiot just wants to do this to my channel, and I think it's completely wrong. They are abusing the copyright system in this regard. As I've stated, it sets a precedent that they own the benchmark, which is completely wrong. They do not, as that is the only content that is in the video that they've marked. If anything, Ulengine is the people who own that. And it is a very dangerous precedent to give them permission to have ownership of that video. It gives them the ability to be able to take down any video that they do not agree with. And that should not be allowed. At best, as I said, this should have been a takedown request. I have dealt with takedown requests in the past, and this has baffled me why it has gone all the way to a copyright takedown and a copyright strike, when the type of material that it is and the reasoning that they've given me is completely useless. It is an abuse of the system. I do not know why I am on the butt end of this, but I completely disagree with it. The thing that I find fascinating is the fact, if you notice the durations, they cut out the beginning and the end of the video where I state what processor it is being run on. So anyone who was reviewing this case should have watched the videos from start to finish, and if they just watched that extra 5 minutes at the end, or 12 minutes on the other one, and the same at the other end, they would have seen that this is a completely false claim and chucked it out. I am going to be distributing this video not only on my channel, but I'm actually going to be sending it to the developers, because I think it's out of order what this person is doing, particularly in regards to trying to claim ownership of their own benchmark, which, like I say, I think is a bad precedent. I'm also going to be sending it to AMD because there is a potential implication here that he may be able to claim the fact that any AMD processor system he could make a similar claim on. And because the other thing that's in the video is an NVIDIA GPU in one of the cases, I will be sending this content to NVIDIA as well to let them know about this situation. So, until I get a more happy resolve in this matter, I will not be adding any new content to my channel, which is a shame because I was actually on the verge of going into a new direction with some of my videos and actually producing content outside of just doing Let's Plays. I was going to do an entire opinion piece of what I think about the movie The Shining and what I actually think is behind it as a discussion point. But I'm putting that plan on hold because this is an absolutely silly situation to be stuck in. And it is abusing the copyright system. And the thing that really, really annoys me about this entire situation is if I get the copy strike removed, there be no repercussions for the channel that issued this and put me in this situation. YouTube's system needs reworking in some shape, way or form to prevent people and small channels like myself from being put in this situation where they've got to do a video like this about the things that go on behind the screen. I don't talk about all the claims that I get on videos because it's part and parcel of doing Let's Plays. But this I find offensive on many, many levels. And I think it's wrong that this is the situation that I'm in. On a personal level, I find like this time of the year very, very difficult for my mental health. So, yeah, having this sort of stuff thrown at me with stupid reasons just demonstrating how out of touch the entire YouTube, the way YouTube handles copyright strikes and report on videos is just mind-bending. I thought YouTube was much better a platform than this. This should never have got to this situation. And I've been doing videos on YouTube. Well, I first started back in 2008, but it was short-lived and really came back in 2015. And this has been one of the things that has helped keep me sane and has been one of my outlets. And things like this just make me think that I should start looking for a different platform to work on. So, I'll be interested to know what anyone thinks on this situation. Please feel free to comment what you think, and we'll see how it goes. If YouTube gets that act together and removes the strike, you'll be seeing more videos from me. If not, this might be my final video, at which point I should say thanks for bearing with the channel.